Hello, friends. So I got back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache, and I just felt just run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house, and throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, Ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I also got an NAD drip and a vitamin drip, and I did that 3 days in a row. And so here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great. I really only had one bad day. Sunday sucked, but Monday was better. Tuesday felt better than Monday, and today I feel good.
Okay, so he feels good. Everyone watching this can evaluate for themselves how he looks. I assume COVID's pretty rough. You know, from time to time over the past year and a half, I've tried to get people not to get it. But anyway, Jackson, what did you think when you heard the news that Joe Rogan, who's one of the most influential people in the world these days, had ended up getting COVID?
Well, it's not really surprising, especially, just the crowded spaces that he'll be in when he hosts fights and things like that. But, the thing about Joe Rogan is I think he doesn't take his time enough a lot when he is gonna go on rants about maybe public health or what he thinks. And I think that it kind of goes over his head how many people are listening to him. Because just in general, he seems like a decent guy, like a cool guy that you like to, I box and stuff. I like that you like to do stuff like that with. But I think he, now that he has COVID, and I'm sure you can play a couple other clips in a second, how he's handling it, he kind of goes over his head, when he said, he did some segment where he was talking about making some statements on vaccines, and the person who wrote the study had to come out and say, no, That's not what it was saying. So it's just he was a good example of someone, if he would just take his time a little bit more, then I don't think that he would have as much scrutiny as he does.
Yeah. I mean, look, whether he wants to or not, he obviously has a responsibility just by virtue of the fact that he has this massive audience that will believe anything he says, or the people he has on, they will believe that these are reputable people because Joe Rogan has chosen to bring them on and generally peddle nonsense a lot of the time. So look, I've been curious about whether he was vaccinated. We don't know. He said a long time ago, I'm not an anti-vax person, but he has also said that young people who are in good health don't need to be vaccinated, which is very much not true. We reported this morning, a 13-year-old died of COVID. Young people are dying of COVID. 30-year-olds are being killed by the Delta variant at horrible rates. So it's just not true. And so it is easy. I hope he has the most mild case of this ever. I hope that he's fine. I hope his family stays fine. But he has the resources that he can stuff himself full of monoclonal antibodies and ivermectin and stuff that is medicine and stuff that is not medicine, Z-Pak and all this stuff. He can throw $100,000 at it if he wants and not even blink. Very few people watching his audience can do that. And I worry about what they will take out of this, especially Jackson, if he does get through this, without it being a really bad case, what effect is that gonna have on his audience? Are they gonna take it more seriously, despite the fact that he had Regeneron and all of that? I worry about that.
I think a lot of that'll boil down to how he handles it and how he handles the messaging after the fact. There'll definitely be a lot of people who say, well, see, Joe had it and it wasn't that bad. If he comes out and he lets people know, hey, this really, and he kind of did it a little bit, but he needs to reiterate that again, hey, this thing really had me down. And in whatever way you can protect yourself, you should do it. And again, it's the facts are on the side of the vaccines overwhelmingly, if not totally prevent you from getting it, they help you not get it as bad when you do.
Yeah.
The evidence is completely on the side for that. And so, I think that we'll have to see how he reacts. But, again, he can't handle his platform like private conversations with his buddies. I think he's just gotten a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah, and I'm sure that that's what he wants. I'm sure he just wants to be hanging out and having fun and smoking weed. And look, that is his right, I guess. But some people might needlessly die along the way, so that he can have his fun conversation.
Because I got, I got people in my life who are, who are more conspiratorial thinking, but they don't have giant platforms. They're not, they're not. So it's kind of easier to be like, oh, okay, well, I just won't really go there with them. Talk about other stuff. But with him, you can't, you can't really do that. You can't really just tune that part of their thoughts out like you can with, regular people in your life.
Yeah. So, yeah. But by the way, our notes say that he is currently touring and he's been doing shows in Florida, which is obviously mostly COVID. It's alligators and COVID.
Yes.
And by the way, on his video, and I had a tweet about this. A lot of people really do seem to believe no, why take the vaccine? All you need to do is do a bunch of jump roping or whatever. And that is not how this works. Sure, being in better health is a good idea. It always has been. We didn't need COVID to know that. But it's not like if you box a lot, you can't die of COVID. Bodybuilders have died of COVID. Fitness people have died of COVID.
You don't literally sweat out a virus or a sickness. It just kind of keeps your body flowing, but you're still sick. You know what I mean? And it's so
your lungs.
Right,
you're not seeing the virus. That's not how it works.
If you can't breathe, then you can't do all that jump roping and stuff. So
100%.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.